There was a dreadful rumble within the walls of the Apple and Vine Inn. The howling storm outside seemed to suck away the brightness through the windows, shadows clawing all inside with gnarled black fingers. The only light to break through were the flashes of raindrops whipping against the windows with fury, almost cracking through the glass with a constant clack, clack, clack. The sound smothered the small, otherwise silent room, with the aging chairs and tables preventing an echo. The only part of the floor that wasn't covered in legs of people and furniture was the bar, where the lone, portly innkeeper stared out to a sea of unhappy patrons. Most were garbed in furs, obscured from sight, and hunched over their drinks like praying mantises. The innkeeper hissed a little under his breath, and briefly glanced up to the broadsword that hung above his head. It was an appropriate metaphor for the situation he found himself in. He looked back to the crowd. Even the faces he recognised had turned unfriendly. Eventually, there was a creaking of wood against the hard floor. A hooded figure quite close to the bar began to rise from her seat. Her fingers went to her hood, though they were more like talons than actual hands with how gnarled and sharp they were. The skin was a most inhuman green. The hood fell away, revealing the figure was in fact a goblin. Her green skin was almost black in the darkness, a crooked nose directed at the innkeeper, and long, cat-like ears juddering. The goblin snarled, exposing a gold tusk beneath her lips, and from beneath her robes, an arm raised accusingly to the innkeeper.
"We are growing impatient, barkeep,"
the goblin hissed, her voice rumbling like coals about to explode into flames. The rest of the bar nodded in agreement, poised to leap to the innkeeper. The innkeeper, however, raised one of his slab-like hands, and the crowd cowed a little. "Look, I know it's been a while, but we're still working on it," he said calmly. The goblin sneered to him, and beads of sweat fled from his brow.
"All you've been doing is turning it off and on again for the past 10 minutes.
"That's all the Wi-Fi man told me to do."
Hello, my name is Rob Stoakes, and I am seeking representation for my 100,000-word contemporary fantasy comedy, Wizards and Whiskey, Order of the Lager. This book is what Lord of the Rings would be like if Frodo and Sam could just take the bus to Mordor. It depicts a world where modern technology meets magic and myth. Dragons take part in pub quizzes, evil villains review each other's lairs online, and the wizard community is suffering a job crisis in a world of smartphones and brew-your-own-beer kits. This world is in peril from a demonic invasion, and the only people trying to stop it are Chip, a bookish, socially awkward student.
You're just saying that because you don't want to admit a part of your childhood was shockingly racist.
Chip wailed, looking back to the Sphinx.
Saying that it was a different time is not going to make it less racist. Does nostalgia just give everything a free pass? Because it's old, it cannot be criticised. Should we stop refrigerating meat because it's just political correctness gone mad?
And Morgan, an aspiring adventurer with an attitude problem.
Olivia's eyes narrowed, shooting a death glare to Morgan with bullet-like eyes.
Don't you have minotaurs to flirt with? Unfortunately, sister, you had to do one of my biggest turn-offs.
Morgan said.
You picked on my best idiot. You mean your best friend?
Chip corrected her.
I know what I said.
They're joined by Morgan's repugnant ex-boyfriend Morris. That crowd's almost entirely women,
Morris pointed out.
I mean, I like a fight, but no guy wants to be known as the guy who hits women. People would talk.
People already talk about you.
Qi-Zhang hissed.
Specifically, they talk about that drunk, homeless sex pest who masturbated in the gallery.
Hey, that should be taken as a compliment for the artist.
Bitter, unemployable lesbian mage Qi-Zhang.
Was that a tank?
Qi-Zhang asked.
I thought it was your mum.
Look, it was a truck, it was an accident, and I've not turned anyone into a vehicle in years. Just let it die already.
And Uggratt, a troll with anxiety disorder. Now it was Middle Billy Goat's turn. He began to cross when the huge black hand slammed onto the bridge in front of him.
Hi, your brother said that I could ask you something, unless that's a problem.
The terrible troll snarled from beneath the bridge. He twisted his hand cruelly, and the middle billy goat went pale when he saw a flash of bone-like white.
Okay, so this bit of paper is a prescription for eproxicate. It's for my anxiety. I usually get them delivered, but it was supposed to come in 2 days ago. Could you nip down to the chemist's and see if they have any in?
Maybe you should wait for my big brother,
the middle billy goat said.
He's much bigger than I am and would make for a much tastier meal.
No, wait, I'll pay you, please.
However, they find that the very world they're trying to save is also their biggest obstacle. This novel is a story of self-improvement, the melancholy of youth, and finding meaning in a world that doesn't seem to have any. It's aimed at 18 to 30-year-old fantasy fans, and while it is a standalone story, I eagerly look forward to writing more in the series. I am a Hull-based writer and a carer for young people with learning disabilities, and this will be my second novel. My first novel, Mother and Monster, was received positively by critics, though Wizards and Whiskey Order of the Lager is a very different project. I'm taking what I learnt from my previous work in a new direction, as well as influences from Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams, Kurt Vonnegut, David Eddings, and various folktales from around Yorkshire. I have sent to you in an email a copy of the synopsis in full and the first 3 chapters of Wizards and Whiskey Order of the Lager. A copy of the full manuscript is available upon request either via print or email. My contact details are both currently on screen and in the email I sent you. I hope you've enjoyed this little preview of Wizards and Whiskey Order of the Lager, and I look forward to hearing from you.